Hi, welcome. This is 3.4 over the Vertex form, and let's go ahead and get started. The Vertex form, the general form of the Vertex form, is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. And the vertex is at the point h comma k. And we'll see what that means a little bit better as we work through the examples. So the vocabulary, the shape of the graph of a quadratic function is called a parabola. And it is U-shaped as opposed to V-shaped like the absolute value function. And the axis of symmetry, all of these are things that we've talked about for the last several lessons. Axis of symmetry is a line that cuts a parabola in half. If you were to fold the parabola along its axis of symmetry, the two sides would overlap. The equation of the axis of symmetry looks like x equals a number. And this one is vertex. The tip of the parabola, the point at which it changes direction. If the parabola opens up, it's because a is greater than 0 or a is positive. Let's go ahead and write POS for positive. The vertex is the lowest point on the graph or the minimum point. If the parabola opens down, a is less than 0, which means that a is negative. The vertex is the highest point on the graph or the maximum point, as we see here in these graphs. In this one, a is greater than 0, is positive, it opens up, it has a minimum point at the vertex. In this one, a is less than 0, it's negative, it opens down, and so the vertex is a maximum point, is the highest point on that graph. Direction of opening. It opens up if a is greater than 0. It opens down if a is less than 0 or negative. The vertex, basically the vertex is h comma k. As a reminder, if you have it in standard form, h is equal to negative b over 2a. If it's in vertex form, you just read it right off, h and k. And then k, also from standard form or from any form, once you've found what h is, k is f of negative b over 2a. You could also say it's f of h. You put that value in for x, you evaluate it to find what the corresponding y value is. The axis of symmetry, you can say, I'll put it in two ways. You could say x equals h, or x equals negative b over 2a. They're the same thing, but if you have vertex form, this is much easier than trying to figure out what is standard form and then figure out what the values of b and a are and then calculating it that way. So if you just have in vertex form, you can read it right off. It's the x minus h inside the parentheses. Y-intercept. Replace x with 0 and solve for y. In the x-intercept, same thing, but sort of reverse here. The x-intercept replace, or the x-intercepts replace y with 0 and solve for x. Domain. The domain is all real numbers, which we can write like this, or like this, or we can actually write out the words all real numbers. And the range, remember that, the domain is all the x values of the equation that work or that are in the graph. The range is all of the y values. And so the range is y greater than or equal to k if a is greater than 0. If it's positive, it opens up, then you're going to have y greater than the k value, which is the y value of the vertex. Or y less than or equal to k if a is less than 0. If it opens down, then you're going to have it this way. You can also write it in interval notation, and so this would be starting at k, and it go up to positive infinity. Or over here, we'd have the lowest value. There is no lowest value, so it goes all the way down to negative infinity, but it comes up to the point k and would be equal to k at that point. All right, we'll see you in video 2 where we do some examples.